Hello everyone, this is Chef Jerrold Brooks from Manuel Casino. Once again, hoping everybody is safe, your families are safe, and you're taking all the correct precautions that you can during this time. Well, I know that everyone misses Manuel, like I do too, and of course the Pine Steakhouse we've been hearing about. So what I would like to kind of show everybody today is how to do a restaurant quality steak right here at home, just like at the Pine Steakhouse, without all the expensive equipment that we use at Pines and in other restaurants. So one thing I'll say, go buy your favorite kind of steak from, I bought this out of a local grocery store. And first we want to season. Now me personally, you can use your favorite steakhouse, your favorite steak seasoning that you like. Me, I just prefer a little salt, pepper, and granulated garlic mixture. Something simple and something that will help bring out the flavor in your steaks. This is actually the same thing that we use at Pines to season those steaks that you have come to enjoy and love. Once you season your steaks, I'm using a cast iron skillet. Cast iron skillets are great for cooking steaks at home. They really hold in heat very well, and they give you a nice sear. One thing I want to do is I want to oil it. I've already pre-oiled it, pre-seasoned it. Cast iron skillet. You can see I've gotten it pretty hot. So next we want to add our steak. See, it's hot by the nice amount of sizzle in it. When cooking steak, you want to keep it on until you get a nice sear on it. Sear is great. One thing it does, it seals in the juices. Another thing, it gives you a nice crust with some great texture, and that's where you actually get a lot of flavor from in your steak. And this is going to actually take a few minutes to do on one side, and that's why you really want a very hot grill. And that's one mistake that a lot of people do when cooking steaks at home. They put them in a cold pan. That's the last thing that you want to do. You don't want to have your steak start off in a cold pan, because then you're going to actually draw juices out of the steak and you're not going to seal them in. And you don't want that. Everybody wants a nice, flavorful, and juicy steak. And me personally, I love steak. And of course, I don't know if you all know this, but my favorite steak is the New York strip, and that's what I'm using and cooking for myself today. As you see, I'm turned over. See, it got a nice crust on it. And don't be afraid of heat. A lot of people are scared of heat. Heat can be your friend when it comes to cooking. And that's one thing, whether we outside any kind of protein, you always want to get a nice sear. Especially meat proteins like pork, lamb, veal. You want to get a nice sear. And once we get a nice sear on both sides, now I like to add a little bit more flavor to my steak. I want to add some fresh herbs. I have some fresh rosemary, I have some fresh thyme, and I have a fresh clove of garlic. You want to add those aromatics to your pan. Alright? And then some whole cold butter. And that's the butter melt. What do you want to do next? You want to kind of lean your pan like this and baste your steak. And now you're getting all this flavor from the butter, from your herbs and everything in the steak. And it depends on how thick your steak is, like me, and how you want it cooked. I preheat my oven to 400 degrees. And me, as you see, I have a pretty thick steak here. So I kind of sear the sides a little bit also. After this, I'm going to finish it off in the oven. Now, if you like medium rare, that's going to be about 10 minutes, a little bit more for medium, and probably close to about 15 minutes for well done. And it also depends on the thickness of your steak. Alright, so now I'm finished with that. I'm going to place this in my oven. Okay. Now that our steak should just be about done now, I want to take that out the oven. Me, I prefer my steaks medium, so that's about 135 to 140 degrees if you have a meat thermometer. However, I do suggest pulling it out maybe about 3 degrees lower than your desired temperature, simply because proteins are known to carry over cooking, what they call, and it's going to automatically cook up about 3 to 5 degrees anyway. All right, so now that my steak is obviously ready, looking good. And so what we want to do now is we want to just sit it right there because we want to give our steak time to rest. It should rest about at least 3 minutes. And what's going to happen now is if we cut the steak right now, all your juices going to run everywhere. They're going to come out all over your plate or whatever. So if you let it rest, then that gives the juices time to retract back into the meat. So then once you cut it, you shouldn't have all your juices, and you should have a juicy steak from beginning to end of your meal. Great, perfect steak. See how it has a nice crust on it? So now I'm gonna let my steak rest for 3 minutes, pour me a nice glass of Cabernet, and enjoy my dinner. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day, be safe. Come back to see me when we reopen. Thank you.